Welcome to Story Time with Sunshine Ludi. Hi, I'm Sunshine Ludi, and I have a story to tell you today. This one's a true one. The title of the story is Becoming Sunshine. It was written in 2016. This is the story of my name-changing journey from Naomi Lois Tyson to Terry Lynn Ludi, and finally to Sunshine Ludi. I was a PK. Let me explain. Being a PK means you're in the spotlight and everyone watches everything you do to make certain you are doing all the right things all the time. No matter where our family lived, we moved about every 3 years in northern Wisconsin. We lived under the microscope. So what does PK mean? It means preacher's kid. Lloyd, my late husband, was also a PK. Two rebels found each other. On June 29th, 1962, I started the day as Naomi Lois Tyson, and in the afternoon, after my dad and Lloyd's dad said some magical words, suddenly I was Naomi Lois Ludi. Yes, our dads actually married us. In 1963, we moved to California, and that's where our children were born. 1965, our son, Daryl, was born, and the mother's name on the birth certificate was Naomi Lois Ludi. A year later, when our daughter was born, Denise, the mother's name on the birth certificate was Terry Lynn Ludi. This is because I officially made an amendment to my birth certificate in between the two events. This was easy. At that point in time, we had no bank accounts, no retirement funds, no nothing. Only the job where I worked, where I had to train people to use my new name. And it was only $30 to have this change made to my birth certificate. Lloyd and I moved to Leisure World, November of 1995. This is where I began to perform on stage with various organizations. Lloyd applauded each and every performance, and in 1996 said to me, "Honey, you should have a stage name. You've been on stage so much." I liked the idea, but it took me 6 years to find the right name. A sweet couple, 96 and 86, asked me to help them with their Easter Day show. My part was to dress up in a pretty yellow dress with lace inserts and gold accessories and parade in as they sang the Easter Parade. After our rehearsal, I decided to perform at a local assisted living center. This is where I often played the piano and sang. It was raining hard as I parked. I ran from my car with my pretty gold shoes in my hand so they wouldn't be ruined. 30-some people lounged in the comfortable chairs in the lobby. I slipped my shoes back on and announced, "It's really gray outside, so I'm bringing some sunshine with music. Let's start with You Are My Sunshine." I moved to the piano bench and sat down, and just before I played the introduction, I said, "Oh, and by the way, my name is Sunshine." It wasn't planned. It just happened. But I liked it so well. It felt so right. On that day, in April 2001, I became Sunshine. I considered a legal change from Terry Lynn Ludi to Sunshine Ludi. But due to the high cost and complicated process, I decided against it. I continued to use the name Sunshine everywhere I went and soon became known as Sunshine to family and to many friends. In 2005, due to grave illness, I lost Lloyd, who was my most ardent fan and loving companion. But the following year, fortune smiled on me, and I found David Raindrop Hartman, a loving man who not only supported and applauded my musical accomplishments, but who added his talents with mine as we embarked on a beautiful musical and love-filled journey. Between 2008 and 2017, we orchestrated and performed in 20 major musical productions and numerous small events. David has a rich, sonorous, baritone voice and had sung and acted long ago in New York. He has many other skills, such as table tennis, billiards, golf, and poker. He shared some of his knowledge with me. Because of his encouragement, I experienced the joy of competing in Senior Olympic Games. So, between our musical adventures, we enjoyed many other activities. We married in 2008, and since I had to use my legal name, he married Terry Lynn Lutie. I did keep Lutie as my last name. I asked him, "Honey, do you care?" And he said, "Do you love me?" I said, "Yes." He says, "No, I don't care." We celebrated our 8th wedding anniversary and had a wonderful vacation in Cancun, Mexico. Since my driver's license and my passport all had my legal name, everyone referred to me as Terry, not Sunshine. I really liked being Sunshine, so I decided that when we returned home, I would make my chosen name legal. Back home, I started a painfully long and costly process. I started with a mistake. I paid a company called LegalZoom a fee which I thought covered much more than it did. They provided papers which I could have obtained for free from the Superior Court Self-Help Service Center. I carefully completed the forms and on September 20th, 2016, traveled to the Superior Court of California, County of Orange in Santa Ana to file the completed papers and pay a high court fee for this process. I received an appointment for 8:30 a.m. on December 6, 2016 for approval of the change, but had to get the planned name change published 4 times in a weekly newspaper publication. I reviewed the fee structure for all the local newspapers and found the best value and had the name change published. After 45 minutes of heavy traffic on Tuesday, December 6th, I arrived at the proper window at the Superior Court building promptly at 8:30. No one was at the window until 8:45, which is when I discovered that 20 other people also had an 8:30 appointment. By 10 a.m., I had the official document in hand with 4 official copies for a fee, and I was legally Sunshine. I immediately went to the Department of Motor Vehicles, which was my second mistake. I waited for an hour before being called to a service window. At the service window, the clerk said, "I'm sorry, but you have to have your name change recorded by Social Security before I can do anything." "You mean," I asked, "I've waited here for an hour for nothing?" The clerk patiently and kindly responded, "When you return, if you see me, I'll take care of you." 11 years prior, I filed for Social Security, so I thought I knew where to go. My third mistake, I told the uniformed guard that I needed to go to the Social Security office. She responded, "This is the IRS building," and pointed to a sign with the Social Security address. Even with my phone's GPS, the location wasn't easy to find. After driving in circles for a bit, I found it. I also found at least 75 people waiting for service. I took a number and waited for another couple hours. Finally, with a letter from the Social Security Department, I headed back to the Department of Motor Vehicles. The clerk who took care of me was nowhere to be seen, so I got in line to get a number. With number in hand, I sat near the window where the clerk had been previously. Suddenly, there she was. I ran up. "I have the letter from Social Security stating my name is changed. Can you take care of me?" She responded, "I'm sorry. I just punched out, and I can't take care of you. You better take a number." So I waited another hour for my turn. Normally, when waiting, I use my cell phone to get some things accomplished, but by this time, my phone was dead. Update to Family Trust, that one will cost. Another thing I listed was my passport change, which I knew would cost. In 2016, in anticipation of the special 10th wedding anniversary celebration, I applied for a new passport. I received it and am now ready for more adventures. The handwritten list that I created while waiting had 18 items listed. I subsequently typed a more legible and complete list with 25 items. The handwritten list that I created while waiting had 18 items listed. I subsequently typed a more legible and complete list with 25 items. Within a week, many of the steps were complete, or at least addressed for the future. Many of them required a couple weeks for completion of the official documents. After I wrote this true story, I wondered, how many steps did I forget? But mission accomplished. I am finally and legally Sunshine Lutie.